Microsurvey CAD has as its native CAD format the Autodesk compatible DWG format, and that allows you to create new DWG files, and it also allows you to open DWG files that have been sent to you by other companies or by clients. For that reason, it's a good idea to have a look at all the different settings that are contained in the DWG file. Sometimes they will be perfectly suitable for your work, and sometimes you have to adapt so that you can add microsurvey functions to the drawing. Here I've opened up a drawing that is typical of what you might get from an architect. And if we go into drawing settings here, we'd see all the different things that came along with this file. And some of these settings can affect your survey operations, so I'll just point a few out. If you have a look at, for example, the linear units, it's not uncommon to have a drawing come to you set with architectural units, and you'll find that that distance unit can cause issues as you're populating the drawing with a points database. So if you switch it over to decimal, then it's more typical. I'll also switch over to entity creation, where you've got lots of different options for how entities will be displayed in your file. And very often we need to switch over to points, where we'll find that the points are displayed in such a way that they're not as convenient to work with. So in this drawing, the point will be displayed as a single pixel dot, and that makes it harder to see. So if I switch it over so that the drawing will display nodes as an X, that allows us to pick their side, pick an arm if we want to pick them, and we can also set an absolute size. So in this case, I'm just going to tell the program to draw all point nodes as a 1 foot radius X shape. Over in entity modification, sometimes you have to look at how the trim and extend modes are set, depending on your options. Sometimes trims don't work when you've got lines that have differing elevations. That's a few of the settings that you might want to pay attention to. So that's what happens if you open up a drawing that came from a client. The other major category of drawing setup questions are in terms of how do you want to start a fresh project that you're going to create yourself. And when I open up the project manager, you'll see that there's an option here to use a template, and we highly recommend that you set yourself a template so that many of the drawing settings that we already had a look at, plus a number of other ones that I'm going to show you, become part of every new project as you create it. So what you normally do is you check on Use Template. Set Template allows you to browse to the template that you wish to pull in when you make a new drawing, and then starting on New, we'll make a copy of the template and turn it into a working drawing file for you. The template that I'm displaying here was shared with us by a company that uses a lot of microsurvey products called McElhaney. So now we've created a fresh drawing. Now I'm being displayed the general configuration options, and it's important to point out that these are all microsurvey specific settings, and they did not come from my template. I'll select OK on that. The microsurvey settings will be discussed in a different video. Now watch what we've created when we start this new drawing. So let's have a look at the drawing settings. So all of these settings were brought in with the template. In addition to that, if I go to IntelliCAD Explorer, I can see other CAD drawing elements that were brought in. So all of the layers that were set in the template are now part of this drawing, even though I haven't created anything. We've got layer states that we can switch between. Line types, they're all saved with this template, and they're now part of this drawing. Text styles are all saved as part of the drawing. It's important to point out that you'll often need to define some of your own text styles, although any of the text styles that are created by the microsurvey smart labeling functions are not necessary to include in the template. Same would go for dimension styles. So we've got text styles. We've also got any blocks that might be necessary for re-entry into drawings. They're all stored right here in IntelliCAD Explorer. Again, with blocks, if you're using an auto map to insert blocks with points, you don't need to store the blocks in the CAD file. And finally, another major area where using a template can help to smooth your workflow is you can set up any of the necessary drawing layouts. And so in this case, you can see that McElhaney has set up a variety of layouts that get imported whenever you use a template, and that allows them to quickly set up and customize drawings for specific purposes. If at any point you've got a template and you want to make some changes and refresh it so that your next new project will pull in these new settings, then all you do is you just go to Save As, or you make the changes in the drawing and you go to Save As, give it a new name or overwrite the existing one, select the option to create a DWT file, and then it makes a new template. Okay, thanks for your interest in this topic.